Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings and welcome back to the latest profile of the March is Women's Month. The first one comes from the Oregonian. Link is in the description, archived. It was a long read, but it was light on information. The majority of the Oregonian article was dealing with the fact that this disgraced politician from Clackamas County, which is east of Portland. Now, if you're familiar with the Portland interstate system, I 205, which intersects just east of the Portland airport with 84. Just south of that area is the Clackamas County area where this woman, uh, Fireside, um, Melissa Fireside, it was a county commissioner. She just won the election back in November and resigned earlier this month because even at the time of the election, if I remember correctly, there were allegations of impropriety of which she had been accused of. So again, the Oregonian was light on that information. They focused more on her having a public defender and having all these vast resources and still qualifying for a public defender, taking away from the actual accusation that she's facing. So she's being indicted on 8 felony charges, including theft and forgery, accused of stealing 30,000. Uh, excuse me. Excuse me. It was she's being accused of stealing $10,000 from an 83-year-old victim, forging signatures, and then doing promissory notes worth nearly $60,000. Um, so, with pressure mounting, her fellow commissioners voted because apparently she was missing time because of all of these court cases or something. I'm not certain what the reasons. But anyway, they suspended her ability to get paid, which was in Clackamas County, a commissioner makes 123,000 a year, well, more than that. But regardless, here's this woman, and it goes into the report. Former county commissioner faces felony allegations, self described construction consultant, and she's got a public defender. Some people like to call them public pretenders. But she has in Lake Oswego, which is a suburb of Portland, that is considered a prestigious place. Um, it's there. The traffic gets congested. I mean, I, I don't dislike it. I wouldn't live there, but it is what it is. She's got a property though in Lake Oswego worth $900,000. Um, and it goes on to describe another suburb of Portland, West Lynn. And I don't know if they're confusing West Lynn with Lake Oswego, but that's not the issue. She is accused of 8 count indictment of forging signatures of the 30,000 promissory note. So we've got $10,000 to $60,000 going on around here, but it shows all kinds of odd things. And if these allegations are true, I mean, there might be more financial fraud things of which she's involved. So apparently, her mother lives in an assisted. I don't know. Going into all these details about her mother and such, I don't think are really related, except for the fact that she sold a home to her mother that she had previously owned. The point is she's on the hook. She got elected, and within 6 months, she's had to give it up to face these allegations, and it's because of corruption, fraud, and time will tell. Number one, if the allegations are serious, or as leftist, Clinton, it's not this. It's the seriousness of the charge. It's time to throw that kind of stuff in their face and have them eat it. So this one, this is toned down after the South Carolina woman. So the next one we're going to jump into is a Republican Congresswoman, Nancy Mace of South Carolina. She's been making headlines lately, being against the trans identifying movement, specifically the McBride congressperson being a man, dressing up as a woman or however it works, does. Um, what is often overlooked is that Nancy Mace herself, invaded a male only space and didn't care. She came on the heels of Shannon Faulkner going to the Citadel in South Carolina, which is a state level military academy similar to West Point in New York for the United States Military Academy. So Shannon Faulkner left the Citadel. Nancy Mace, at some point, went there and did graduate and got herself a commission and so forth. So she's built her career on being this aggressive anti-man, anti-establishment figure who was championing originally the transgender issues. I believe it was a year and a half to 2.5 years ago, which she was a proponent of their advocacy. And now she's done a 180 because it's politically expedient. Now, most recently, okay, not most recently, but prior to this, she legislated specifically gynocentric, bills, focusing only on women and girls, excluding the suffering of boys. And everybody knows men get discarded. It's just the way it is. But she tailored it specifically to even freeze out boys. Now she went on to the floor of the House of Representatives, where they have what's called a what would be considered in general language super freedom of speech, which means that what they say on the House floor they can't be held liable for, and that is could be the root of the jokes about how come politicians can lie to us and not face any kind of repercussions for it, because well, you know that's part of it. And anyway, so she goes on the floor and makes an accusation against her ex fiance and his business associate that they are involved in inappropriate stuff. And long story short, this individual, this man, who yes is in business with her ex fiance, is not, purporting, he's declaring his innocence, which is his right, due process. That he is now been victimized by her and is suing her. And people are like, well, you can't do that. She said it on the floor of the House, and they have that freedom of speech, super protected speech, right. Well, that's where it gets fun. She sent out propaganda material, both online and to the media, prior to taking to the floor, naming him. And that's in print. So hopefully, as long as, hopefully he's able to take this fully and sue her. She's a sexist bigot. She's a man hater. And, you know, I never thought much of her, negative wise until about 3 years ago when she popped up on my radar, and I started seeing just how bigoted, how misandrist she was in her leanings. And then the flip flopping, I mean, I get it. People can change their mind, but on an issue such as a hot button as that, as the transgender, you're their ally one day, and then you're their most vocal opponent. Plus, she protected Kimberly Cheadle, the disgraced ex Secret Service director's golden parachute. She had articles to file to get her, removed, and she withdrew them after Kimberly Cheadle resigned. But she protected her retirement package. No, Kimberly Cheadle doesn't deserve that. and that's her, that's Nancy Mace putting the sisterhood before competency. All right. Stay safe.